Coach, I thought your quarterback did an excellent job. You know, maybe one or two plays you'd love to have back. Speak about him, and then unfortunately on the fumble late in the game. Was that a read play or was that a direct handoff? Explain that one, please.
Well, to answer the last one first, the run play was a read play. He was trying to give it. We just, from a technique standpoint, didn't execute it. Probably the worst time for that kind of play to happen, obviously, but it did. I think when you go into a game with a brand new quarterback starting his first game as an SEC guy, and you expect to have a mistake or two, and we had two. He had there was a technique issue on the mesh, and that cost us. And we had his interception. He threw that play 5 times, and he threw it correctly 4 times. He hung on AJ on the interception. The other 4 times when it wasn't there, he came off it, and we had successful plays. So, yeah, his 2 mistakes were costly, but in terms of what our expectations were for a quarterback in his first start, he accounted for 444 yards, and I think Jordan gave us as much of an opportunity to win the game as he did, to lose the game.
What were your impressions on Jordan Sims at center?
Jordan Sims, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think that was his first full game as a center. He graded out pretty good. The O-line graded out pretty good. He had a big boy he was handling at Arkansas. Overall, I think did a pretty good job. We had a couple errant snaps that Tom, who saved us on, he caught a few high ones, couple to the side. Outside of that, I thought it was a pretty solid game for Jordan Sims.
After the fumble that got Arkansas, within 2 points there, we get the ball back. Got a little conservative there. Was it because of the turnover before? What was the mindset going into that last possession on offense?
No, just talking with Coach Luke and the staff, our thought process was to drain the clock. And we didn't do a good job on the drive, and we wound up having to punt it back. But we were going to try to drain the clock and snap it at 3 seconds and not give the ball back. That was the plan at the time.
One last question for me. The red zone getting a lot of field goals these past couple games. What are you seeing on film after reviewing it while we're not able to punch that ball in more?
At the end of the day, we have to execute a little better. I mean, we went back the last 3 games and looked at some of the red zone issues. Give you a perfect example. We ran a snap where we weren't going to snap it unless they jumped, and we got them. And we snapped it too late. And so we actually gave them a chance. That was the fade throw to DeMarcus Lodge in the corner. That's supposed to be a 5-yard penalty and a free play, and it would have been had we snapped it on time, and we didn't. And there's just little things, little mistakes like that have, forced us to kick for 3 instead of push for 7. And, you can't make those mistakes. And so, that's just one example, but it was an opportunity after a really good drive. We had a number of them in the second half, and we had to settle for field goals. We had as many opportunities in the red zone in the second half as we did in the first, and we came away with 3 field goals instead of some touchdowns. And I think, those little mistakes like that, not snapping the ball quick enough, not making the right read on one play, I thought we got a really bad mark on the zone swipe play that we ran. Jordan Tomu fell at about the 3.5-yard line. They mark it at the 5. And so little things like that. But at the end of the day, we have to execute. I'm not making excuses for our red zone deal. That's I tell you what our emphasis is each week. Red zone is our emphasis this week without question.
Give us a little synopsis on Kentucky defense.
Well, I said from LSU to Arkansas was a similar front, much different coverage behind. This week, it's a similar front again. We're getting a 0 nose. They're more multiple now. They will line up in a 4-down front at times. It's not as often as their 0 nose front, but they will get in a 4-down. Probably the most multiple team from a coverage standpoint that we've seen. They play a little bit of everything. And they have some majority coverages and some primary coverages against each formation, but it's going to be probably the most multiple since the Vandy game.
Did you think Jordan's ankle affected him at all during the game, and how did it respond after the game?
You know, Jordan Wilkins is resilient. You know, I kind of like him. He's kind of a microcosm of our team. He rips off a however long touchdown run on the second play of the game, and we didn't even know if he was going to play, and boom, he's in the end zone on play 2. On the next drive, he had to come off. He was a little hobbled. Then he comes back later in the game and makes some good runs and plays some physical ball. And so it's just kind of, you know, like right now he won't practice Tuesday, but he'll probably be back out on the field on Wednesday. And we're just going to manage, you know, his issue. And Jordan somehow tends to find a way to go and get it done on Saturday. And that's just him. I still think he's a back getting better with each carry in each game as we go.